Om Sri Sai Ram. I offer my loving and reverential pranams at the lotus feet of the divinity incarnate, Lord Sri Satya Sai. This year we are celebrating 82nd earthly years of the advent of Sri Satya Sai. Today, women from all around the world celebrate his advent, paying respects to the Divine Mother Ishwaramma, who was chosen to bring this brilliance to the world. On behalf of all the devotees that are here and millions around the world, I take this golden opportunity to offer love and gratitude at Bhagwan's lotus feet. This afternoon, Bhagwan has blessed two speakers. The first, Dr. Haimavati Reddy, and followed by Mrs. Shaukar Janaki. Jai Sai Ram. Dr. Haimavati Reddy.
Om Sri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble and loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our Mother Sai. Respected elders, dear sisters and brothers, and dear students, loving Sai Ram to all of you. I pray to Swami to speak through me. Swami is my mother, father, friend, guru, and my God. He is my very life. And Swami, as my divine mother, has helped me through different stages of my life as a daughter, wife, daughter-in-law, mother, and as a physician. Swami's love is unfathomable, and it's more than that of 1,000 mothers. And every one of us seated here has experienced his love. And I experienced his divine motherly love during my first visit to Prashanthi Nilayam in July 1983 for Guru Purnima. At that time, I became very ill and I was bedridden for 3 days and I could not even go for darshan. And my husband, being a physician, he was worried that I may have to be taken to the hospital. By Swami's grace, my condition improved, and after 3 days, I was able to go for the darshan for the first time. Since I was still feeling weak, I sat in a chair, and I was in the third row, and our loving Swami came straight to me and asked me, "Where did you come from?" Those words made my sickness and weakness disappear instantly. And I was overjoyed, and I replied, "I am from California, Swami." Then he walked straight to my husband, who was sitting in the darshan, along with thousands of people gathered for Guru Purnima, and he has never spoken to him before, and he told him, "Your wife has come." With those few words, Swami revealed his omniscience and the divine motherly love for me. As Swami always says, "Ni intane, jantane, kantane, ventane untanu." He is always with us, above us, below us, and within us. With this experience, I realized that Swami has been with me always, taking care of me and protecting me. In my childhood and through my medical school at Sri Venkateswara Medical College in Tirupati, I used to go to the temple, Balaji Temple in Tirumala Hills. Every year, I used to go several times, walking up the 7 hills by foot to have darshan of Lord Venkateswara. And after we moved to United States, I did not go to Tirupati for many years. In 1985, in our return trip from Prashanthi Nilayam to Chennai Airport, I was passing through Tirupati town, and because lack of time, I could not go to the Balaji temple. And when I saw the Gali Gopuram on the top of the hills, longing to have darshan of Lord Venkateshwara, and we did not have enough time to go to the temple, so I offered my prayers from the car itself. Then we reached Chennai airport, and to our pleasant surprise, because of change in the flight schedule, we had 2 extra days to spend in India. So that opportunity, I took the full advantage to make use of that, and we went to Balaji temple in Tirupati. So after I stood a long time in the queue, and then finally when we reached the inner sanctum sanctorium, and then I was standing right in front of Lord Venkateshwara, I closed my eyes to offer my prayers. Lo and behold, in place of Lord Venkateshwara, I saw the form of beautiful Lord Sai. Then I realized that all names and forms of God are manifest in our Lord Sai. How fortunate we are to have the Sarva Devata Swarupa here with us. Not only this, he is also Sarva Devata Atita Swarupa, beyond all forms and names. And he is Satchidananda Parabrahma Swarupa. This year, during Dasara celebrations, Swami gave a special message for students and teachers to chant Om Satchidanandaya Namaha while doing the Grama Seva. And this gives us the message that we have to go beyond all names and forms. Our omnipresent, loving Lord Sai has helped me and my family through various serious illnesses and life's challenges. But most importantly, he taught me Vedanta, the spiritual truths, in a simple and practical way so that I can put them into practice in my daily life and realize the real purpose of my life. His simple but profound practical teachings like duty is God, work is worship, help ever, hurt never, love all, serve all, and always be happy. These have become the 4 Mahavakyas for me to put it into practice. The Swami's message, duty is God, work is worship, gives me the strength and endurance to perform my duties at work and at home. One time I told Swami, when I come home from work, I get busy with my kitchen duties and I do not have time to go to the prayer room. Swami opened my eyes and he said, working in the kitchen is also worship. He told me to think when I'm cutting the vegetables that I'm cutting all the desires and also my ego, and when I'm rolling chapatis that I'm expanding my love, and then when I'm sweeping the floor that I'm getting rid of the impurities, the 6 inner enemies, desire, anger, greed, ego, envy, and jealousy. Swami also said that as long as I separate my work as secular and sacred, I will not have peace of mind. He said, Unnadi Vakkate Karma, Adiye Bhagavat Karma. There is only one work, and that is God's work. In this way, Swami gave me a clear and profound message that whatever work we do, we should do it as God's work. At work, when I am in a difficult situation, either dealing with a sick child or anxious parents, and I'm not able to make the decision, at that time, I take a moment from my busy schedule and pray sincerely to Swami for his guidance. As he is Antaryami, the indweller, he always responds instantly and helps me to get over the crisis. One time, I received a call from my hospital emergency room to attend to a 15-month-old child in cardiac arrest. And I rushed to the hospital, and then after 20 minutes of our efforts to revive the child, we were not successful, and there was no heartbeat. At this time, I have to decide whether we have to continue the life support measures or whether to discontinue. And it was a very tough thing to decide for me. So at this crucial moment, I prayed intensely to Swami for his help. While I was praying, the heartbeat suddenly returned, and all the people working as a team, they were all relieved to see the heart tracings on the cardiac monitor. And I was so grateful and joyful because Swami has answered my prayer. And we all had similar experiences. And when we place our burdens at His lotus feet and surrender to Him, He takes care of them. And in His Shirdi avatar, our Lord said, "If you look to me, I look to you. If you leave all your burdens on me, I will bear them." And here I'm reminded of an episode between Balakrishna and Gopi. And the gopis used to go to river Yamuna to collect water. And they used to help each other to stack 2 parts of water on their heads to bring it home. One day, one gopi was left behind, and she needed someone else to place the second part filled with water on her head. And she looked around, and there she saw Balakrishna playing near the river Yamuna. So she asked him, "Can you please place the part on my head?" And he said, "No, no, no." And this went on for some time. And meanwhile, she found another person who helped her to put the part on her head. And she made her way home. And to her utter surprise, when she reached her doorstep, she saw Balakrishna waiting there for her. And as soon as he saw her, he said, "Let me help you to put down the parts down from your head." And she was puzzled and asked him, "When I asked you to put the part on my head, you were so reluctant, and now you're so waiting to relieve the part from my head." Then Lord Krishna replied, "God only takes away your burdens, and He never adds to them." One time, Swami was signing a book for my husband, and right then the lights went off in the interview room and it became dark. My husband and I were thinking how Swami is going to sign the book in the dark. Our omniscient Swami immediately looked at both of us and he said, "I can see in the dark also." And he completed signing the book. Then I realized my mistake. He is the Jyoti Swarupa and He is source of all light. Once I asked Swami what we can do to express our gratitude to Him for showering so much love on us. And Swami told us, "Premanu Pansuko Pensuko." All the love we have experienced from our Divine Mother's side, we should share with others and expand it. Swami calls us as Prema Swarupulara, embodiments of divine love. Let us all resolve to expand our love and be embodiments of divine love. Let us make our life His message. Jai Sai Ram.
Swami has blessed Mrs. Saukar Janaki as the second speaker for this evening. Srimati Saukar Janaki is well known to all of us as a leading film actress. She has acted in over 380 films in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi and Malayalam. Her first lead role was in the movie Saukar. It is from this movie that she derived the title Saukar Janaki, the name she is best known by today. She always chose roles that had an important message to convey. In a time when women were often deprived of opportunities, she stood out as a woman of strength and character. She has received many awards and participates in various charity activities. In 1965, when she had her first darshan of Swami in Chennai, she knew right away that he was the God who held her hand throughout her life. Her faith in Swami has and continues to be the source of her strength. Srimati Saukar Janaki.
Om Sri Sai Ram. On behalf of all the ladies here and my humble self, I offer our grateful and loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Dear sisters, Sai brothers, and respected elders, today I have been blessed by our beloved Baba to speak in his divine presence for the 4th time in 12 years. My maiden speech was on the 19th of November, 1995, when the Ladies' Day was initiated by our beloved Bhagwan Baba. Srimati Anjali Devi, a true devotee of Bhagwan, telephoned and told me that she had been blessed by Baba to conduct the inaugural proceedings of the day and asked me to be the compere for the cultural program she had organized. My joy knew no bounds. Though I had Swami's darshans at Madras and Whitefield Vrindavan earlier, though I had taken his divine blessings personally to perform my eldest daughter's marriage in 1965, the very thought that I was going to step into the abode of Bhagwan for the first time put me flying in the air. My excitement was like that of a child. I came to Puttaparthi, spent some time with Srimati Anjali Devi, preparing citations for all the participants. In the afternoon, somehow I had an intuition that Swami might ask me to speak. I hurriedly prepared a short speech and prayed that Swami should at least talk to me, if not ask me to speak. All set, I was about to leave the room for the function. Our respected Sri Chiranjeevi Rao Garu came in and asked me as to how many persons would be accompanying me to the auditorium, as he has to issue badges. I replied, only 2 of us, Baba and me. His stern, serious expression turned into a smile. He then gave me 1 badge. Though we had initial hiccups with the microphones at the time, the event went on well. Today, of course, the acoustics in Prashanti Nilayam are world class. I went backstage and a lady came running to me and said, come on, our Swami is calling you. I was simply swept off my feet. Almost shivering, I came to the stage and bowed down to Bhagwan Baba. That radiant smile, that divine aura, that heavenly grace. I was simply in raptures. How I wish I had the language at my command to express that glorious moment in 1995. Baba spoke. He was smiling at me. He said, Matladu, meaning speak. Overcoming my nervousness, I started my humble speech by addressing Swami as Ishwari Nandana. There was no podium arranged on the dais. 1 microphone to my right, where Baba was standing, and 1 in front of me. I could see a lot of people on the dais when I started my speech. But to my surprise, suddenly I realized that during my speech, only Bhagwan Baba and I were the only ones standing on the dais. God, what a strange thing, I thought. Baba and me, that's what I said to Sri Chiranjeevi Rao Garu in the noon. Yes, thy wish shall be fulfilled, blessed Satya Sai. In my speech, I had said that women, though are compared to Adi Parashakti, all-powerful, suffering and sacrifice is still the text of their lives, and that only should Swami shower his grace and guide them with spiritual strength, that there will be an upliftment in the lives of women in India. After I had finished, Swami, introducing me to the mammoth gathering that evening, uttered the most memorable words about this humble self. I take the liberty of quoting those most cherished words, of course, with the divine blessings of Baba. It goes this way. Janaki chala vichitramaina manishi. అన్నింటినీ దాటుకుని నా దగ్గరకు వచ్చేసింది. ఏమి అనుకుంటుందో అదే అంటుంది, ఏమి అంటుందో అదే చేస్తుంది. Janaki is a strange person. She has overcome everything and has come to me. She says what she means and she does what she says. What better blessing would there be from Bhagwan Satya Sai Baba to this humble soul? Those golden words were translated by none other than our respected Jayamma Garu in her most beautiful and sweet voice. I realized that Swami has blessed me with his divine grace and had taken me into his fold. The physical and spiritual proximity to my God had made me a better, stronger human being, and his divine hand has been there guiding me all through thick and thin of my life. What have I done, Swami, to deserve this grace? I have not read Ramayana or Mahabharata. I cannot chant mantras. I have not learned to involve myself in rituals. I have no regrets because I am hearing Ramayana from Rama himself. I am hearing Mahabharata from Lord Krishna himself, the living avatar of the Lord Sri Satya Sai Baba. I don't visit temples. My temple is the abode of Baba. Prashanti Nilayam. My only God is Satya Sai Baba. The chanting of Vedas and mantras by the loving Sai students here, right from the tender age of 6, sanctify my soul. In bhajans, I go into a trance. Well, this is how my simple bhakti is for my Lord. In 1993, while in California, I visited many Sai homes and I was overwhelmed with their devotion, unconditional surrender to Satya Sai Baba. The serene atmosphere, the silence, the bhajans, the overall discipline is something which one does not experience in most places in India. In one of the Sai homes in San Diego, Swami's beautiful orange robe was placed in a chair during bhajans. The aura was such that I could feel and experience the physical presence of our beloved Bhagwan all over. On one Thursday, I had visited the Sai home of Dr. Samuel Sandwich with my younger daughter who lives in California. Thousands of miles away from Baba physically, they could bring our Bhagwan to their homes with their love and strong conviction. After the bhajans, I was talking to Dr. Samuel Sandwich, the author of Sai Baba, the Holy Man, and the psychiatrist. Perhaps that was his first book written with Baba's permission. Sai Baba, the Holy Man, and the psychiatrist. He had mentioned to me during our talk that as a psychiatrist, it took him quite some time to realize that Baba is the avatar of the Lord, the living God in our midst. And my reaction to the very prayers and bhajans conducted in foreign countries with such tranquility and peace was something which was amazing. I thought then that commitment and undiminishing faith in Bhagwan is much more felt here than anywhere else in the world when I visited different countries. For the past so many years, I have been listening to Swami's divine discourses, brilliant speeches by eminent personalities, professors, scholars, and ardent devotees from all over the world. I keep asking myself, what could I speak in the presence of such intellectuals? I had not gone to school. I had not graduated from any university. How could I stand here and talk about the infinite, our Lord Baba? Perhaps I could talk about the Almighty and the actor, because that was my profession. Maybe I could talk about my culinary skills, which were running parallel to my film and stage career, and that was my passion too. I knew one day when you are not in the limelight, you will have to light a matchstick in your kitchen and cook to keep the fire burning. When looks go, cooks remain. Don't they? An actor's life and career is like the ascending and descending notes of music, arohana, avarohana. To sing the song perfectly, one needs to practice and practice all your life. One needs sadhana. Striking a wrong note, making the same mistake again and again without any sense of repentance, this is where one loses the grace and divine blessings of our Bhagwan Baba. We should all remember this. Whatever profession you are in, you need dedication and commitment. Having been associated with the film industry for a long span of 59 years, I have the proud privilege of watching the metamorphosis the film industry has been going through. Mother Nature makes a very ugly caterpillar grow into a beautiful butterfly. But this is not so with the film industry. This process is vice versa with the film industry. The beautiful butterfly once has turned into an ugly, undesirable caterpillar now. Films of yesteryears till 1954 were made with a commitment to the society. Idealism, patriotism, spiritualism, themes based on social evils like child marriages, dowry system, corruption were highlighted and projected so that awareness was created in our society for their betterment. The lives of Tyagaya, Vemana, Pothana and Ramadas were enacted by a committed, dedicated actor and classical singer, Sri Chittur V. Nagaya, whose name became synonymous with those saint poets. Incidentally, Chittur Nagaya was an ardent devotee of our Bhagwan, and Swami blessed him several times. Though it is argued that show business is meant for entertainment and money-making, the present-day films in the name of entertainment are loaded with violence, gun culture, obscenity, cruelty to women and animals. The depiction of lady characters, their attire, language is in bad taste. I should say it is highly deplorable. The present-day films, television shows and the internet are doing irreparable loss and damage to the younger generation of our country. If this unhealthy trend continues and does not change, God forbid, very soon the results will be devastating beyond words. Cinema is undoubtedly a very powerful medium. It can do and undo things. Perhaps only condemnation from we ladies is not enough. We should keep away from such entertainment which is so degrading and spoiling our future generation. Sai Bhagwan has given the pride of place to the mother. Swami holds mother in utmost reverence. Gayatri Chandasam Mata. వేదాలకు తల్లి గాయత్రి, ఆ మాతృమూర్తి స్వరూపమే ఈ ప్రపంచం. ఆ మాతృమూర్తి మన సాయి దేవుడు. Gayatri is the mother of Vedas. The real religion comes from mother. It is the mother who should preserve the culture of Bharat, put her children and men on the moral and spiritual path. Bhagwan, Baba's mission is to emancipate and empower the girl and give her the status of equality with the boys, because the girls are the future mothers of this country. All the schools, colleges and universities of Satya Sai are a priceless boon to the girl children. Girls who are sitting here, may I request you that make use of this golden opportunity, come out with flying colors and get certified as 24-karat gold at the divine hands of Satya Sai Baba. But please always remember that empowerment and freedom of a girl does not mean freedom to do anything and everything. Swami is removing the gender bias, the inequality, so that the girl can equally shine with the boys in her chosen career. Freedom means responsibility, more responsibility. Freedom means being answerable to God, your conscience. Swami is not just satisfied with the humongous service and sacrifice he is doing for the womanhood of India. With his divine blessings and grace, his magnanimity has opened a new horizon for the rural women in India. Ishwarama Women's Welfare Trust was inaugurated on Ladies' Day, 19th of November 2005. Many incredible and remarkable projects and schemes have been reality, giving self-confidence, self-respect, security and dignity to more than 800 to 1,000 rural women. They have received extensive training in various fields of employment. They are able to secure loans for manufacturing quality products which are reaching all over the world. With Bhagwan's grace, the Mother and Child project has become a beautiful vision come true. Handling on-the-spot deliveries not of provisions of babies. Supplying medical kits, vaccinating and immunizing has reduced infant mortality rate considerably with the implementation of pre- and post-natal care. 13,000 infants in 20 villages in and around Puttaparthi are being greatly benefited today. A recent addition of a vital project to Ishwarama Women's Welfare Trust is the supply of top-quality pure drinking water, free of cost, to Satya Sai, Sri Satya Sai Bhakta Sahayak Sangh. This facility is also extended to the ashram as well as Swami's institutions and schools in Puttaparthi. This grace and compassion of Bhagwan Baba has attracted and inspired people from all over the world, and they want to replicate these projects, and they keep calling Ishwarama Women's Trust to know how they could implement it. Is this not one of those miracles of our beloved Bhagwan? We are in an age where everything is instant. We have instant coffees, instant idlis, and we come here to see Bhagwan with an agenda. We book our tickets. We want to go back on such and such a day and such a time. And you want Baba to just look at you, bless you, call you for an interview. Nothing is instant here. It is only your patience, your perseverance, your genuine feeling for Bhagwan, your love for him could get you closer to him. Here, I may mention that 2 weeks back, someone telephoned asking me if I have seen Satya Sai Baba in the moon. Their voice did not sound quite genuine to me. I said, why only in the moon? I see him everywhere. Never mind the mindless critics. Never mind the agnostics. Never mind the tabloids. Never mind the electronic media. The infinite pardons the ignorant. Alas, what an immense loss for those who cannot see and experience the splendor of this avatar, the Creator Himself. Are we not fortunate to be with our beloved Bhagwan today? Are we not blessed to walk in His path of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema and Ahimsa? We all know that world is no longer a safe place today. The only safe place is here in Prashanta Nilayam. Let us make use of this opportunity of being with the avatar, our beloved Bhagwan, and do whatever we can do to serve humanity. స్వామి ఎప్పుడు అంటారు, నేను పుస్తకాలు చూడను, మస్తకం చూస్తాను. I won't see books. I only see your brain, your heart. No matter how small our service is, Baba is watching us. Nothing goes unrecognized or unnoticed by our avatar. He's guiding us. Let us do the right things. Let us set a good example to our future generation, our future mothers of India. Bhagwan, I offer my very sincere thanks and gratitude for giving me this opportunity to be present here on the Ladies' Day. Thank you, Sai Bhagwan.